Hi, my name's Vince from My Mate Vince, and today I have to eat some humble pie. It's hard to admit when one is wrong, but I was wrong. I was wrong on this job lot of Nintendo Game & Watches. Now, they're still junk. In fact, the thing that I thought was good on them was the screens, but I've been messing with them now, and it doesn't matter which way I put polarizers in the front and the back, I still have all this black stuff going on. So I think there's severe screen bleed on these. So the one thing that I thought was good, the screens, I actually don't think are good. So they're still complete junk and one of the worst eBay buys. But I was adamant the chip was faulty. The chips are not faulty. So, well, I can't say about this one because I've damaged the chip. I want to do this one live on the video here just to see if it's the same fault as this one here. So yeah, in the last video, I was sure that the seller got rid of these because the chips were faulty, and the chips are the one thing that you can't replace. Just a quick recap, in case you haven't seen that video. Basically, what happened was with these games, every time you press left, the character moves right. Every time you press right, the character didn't do anything, apart from Popeye. Popeye doesn't move left or right. So you would think, well, that's a nice fault to fault find. So it's going to be something to do with the button presses. Now, the button presses work by dragging it down to ground, negative here. So here, when this line here gets in contact with ground, it will move left. When this line here gets in contact with ground, it will move right. That's how it works. So basically, what I was doing is I was going on here, and if I go to continuity, it comes up. So the negative comes up on one lot of the spiral, and also one lot of the spiral here. And then the points from the chip come up on the other lot of the spiral. Yeah. So if I was to go from here, it will go right the way to here. And here it will go right the way to here. So basically, because it was doing that, that said to me that the signal's getting into there, and also it was low resistance as well. So if I was just to go to ohms, and if I was to go between here and here, you will see it's going to come up as something like 2 ohms, 3 ohms. Okay, 5 ohms. And if I was to go here, this is going to be less, because these are the things here that add quite a bit of resistance, these kind of carbon tracks. They've put the carbon tracks over the circuit board, which is quite a nice way of doing it. And if I go here, you will see there 2 ohms. So I was adamant then that it was the chip that was faulty. I even soldered wires onto here and then basically shorted them outside. So I thought by doing that, I've eliminated the circuit board. But then the comments came in, and it was because of the comments I've now actually managed to find out what the problem is. So I will be flashing up the comments throughout this video, just you know, like randomly around the screen from the different people that made them. So massive thank you. So basically, what some comments came in to say was that, did I try lifting the legs of the chip? And when that came in, I thought, why would that make a difference? And then I thought, well, of course it's going to make a difference. If there's a problem on the circuit board, by me soldering them straight onto the legs of the chip, I haven't eliminated the circuit board. I've just got in contact with everything. So on Parachute here, I unsoldered both legs and I folded them over onto the chip. This game here is the octopus one that you never seen in the previous video. This is the one that I spent hours on, you know, changing the speaker here, changing the crystal capacitors, even SMD capacitors. I changed everything over. And basically, when I lifted the legs off the chip, and then when I soldered my wire on, when I shorted it to the negative of the capacitor here, the character started to move. And I was like, what? So that proves it's not the chip, so it's something on the board. Now, many comments came in saying that, is there carbon traces? So you see these are little carbon things here. This is what shorts the 2 spirals together to make the contact, to put the leg of the chip to negative here to make it work. I thought, well, I've done that. I cleaned these. I got a bit of paper, and what I did is I rubbed them along here so they were clean. You can see that these ones here are clean, but they weren't clean enough. Let me zoom right in to show you what the actual problem was on Parachute. I don't know about Popeye yet. I'm going to do Popeye in this video to see if we can get it working. The screen will still look like this. It will still be awful. We just want to get Popeye moving left and right. So you're not going to see a working Game & Watch at the end because you can't see what's going on the screen. We just want to see Popeye moving left and right. So if you have a look here, because these have had so much use, look deep down inside here. Can you see the colour difference? You see this circuit board here, the sort of board that is, you know, the fiberglass or whatever it is, the fibre board that it's on. Can you see it's still nice and brown? But look in the middle, it's black. So what's happening is we're getting a slight short in here between the traces, which is throwing things out. So on Parachute, what I had to do is I had to move around like this. And one of the, amazingly, I did this last night, and then Technibull, he's a viewer that leaves, every single comment he leaves is spot on. And he was the one to say, stop grinding the chip, check out the contacts here. And then he said, but this was after I'd done it, then he said, I use a needle to scrape around it. And basically that is exactly what the problem was. If you scrape around it like this, it will then start to work. So let me show you Parachute, and then let's do this on Popeye, and let's see if he starts working. So basically it's still a very bad buy, and there's still a heap of junk, but I was wrong. The chips are not faulty, and I was adamant that I was correct. I would have put my house on it. I was certain. So that's why I'm eating humble pie in this video, and I hope I learn my lesson for the future. And I always need to doubt myself, because you know what? Often we're incorrect in life, and this is one of those times when I was incorrect. So watch this. Can't believe this is now actually working. So let's get rid of that one. That's never going to work again, Octopus, because the screen is, the chip is now gone. But check this out on Parachute. Can't believe it was something so simple when I spent so many hours, but I was cleaning with IPA on top. But I didn't think to scrape in between. I didn't think that the carbon had impregnated the actual circuit board. But anyway, watch this now. How amazing is this? Now look, he's got full movement, all because I scraped it. So you can see now that I'm rescuing these from the shark infested waters. Look at that, so the movements are perfect now. Yeah, in fact you can actually play the game, it just looks awful. If anybody knows how to fix that, let me know. I've seen a couple of videos where people kind of push it along and get rid of the bleed, but I don't know, this just seems to be everywhere. It's kind of weird though, because when I look at the glass, I can't see black marks everywhere, but no matter how I put the polarizers, I still have all this black stuff. But maybe I just need to buy proper polarizers, and then if I do, this game will actually be working. Anyway, right, let's go on to Popeye, and let's see if we can fix it live with the cameras rolling, rather than me just telling you what I did. Okay, but you can see there, full movement, look at that, nice and quick, nothing wrong with it. Right, so a massive thank you to all the viewers. It's amazing what can be fixed when everybody chips in. Right, so watch, if I go to, you can see Olive up here, Brutus, whatever his name is there. But look, can you see Popeye? Can you see him just here? Now, just under my finger. Can you see he's not moving left or right? I'm hitting left or right now. Let's see if I can get him better. There, you can see him here. Right, so he's definitely not moving, yeah? He flashes, but he doesn't move. Okay, so let's take it apart and let's see if we can get Popeye moving. Right, okay, so now if we look right in here, you see that they look clean, so you wouldn't suspect them, but it's in between the middle. You can see again a different color, can't you, between the outer bits here and this bits here and these bits here. In fact, what we should be able to do is we should be able to get a resistance reading in between them. Let's go on to the negative here, and we're going to go on to this pad here. There you go, so we got 2,400 ohms, which I presume we shouldn't have. And let's go on to this one here. We've got 192,000 ohms. So I think that's what's confusing it, because it kind of thinks it's being pressed all the time. Yeah? Because on these actual pads here, they're going to be reading 300 ohms. I know it's a lot more, but I think that's what's confusing it. So let's scrape in between, and then we'll give it a good clean with IPA. But you can see the contacts themselves are okay. I think the carbon has somehow just gone into the circuit board in between. So we want to make sure we keep them completely separate. I couldn't believe it when it started to work on Parachute. I hope it works on Popeye. Right, let's just see if the reading's different now. And then I'll clean it with IPA. Well, will you look at that? So if I go onto that one, you can see we've got a reading. It's so simple, isn't it? But look at that one. What was that? 192,000 before, and now it's nothing. Look, that's the proof there. So it's all to do with the carbon that's gone into the actual circuit board there. So if it had been silk screened and then maybe this put on top, if that's possible, that wouldn't have happened because the carbon would have just brushed off. But it's like it's actually gone into the fibre off the board. Right, let's do the same on this one. Really interesting that, and you know, with all these little things I've been doing, and I do a lot of variety on this channel, I don't think I've ever come across that before. But now that I've come across it, I'll never forget it. And hopefully if you're watching this, you will bear it in mind for future, that if you're having weird button presses, button inputs, character not moving properly on screen, then it's to do with that. But it doesn't have to be just Nintendo Game & Watches, it can be anything. Any control pad for any game system could have this kind of setup and could also have a similar fault. So basically I'm going to do the same on the other side, clean them both with IPA, we'll put it back together and let's see if Popeye is now moving. I'm also going to swap the back polarizers, because when I was messing with this before, I think I must have swapped over the polarizers. So I'm going to use the polarizers from Octopus, just hopefully it will show Popeye up a bit clearer so we can see him moving and see if he does now move left and right like he should do. Right, from polarizer in, let's see now if we can see Popeye in the middle. Yes, we can. Excellent. Right. There he goes, look. Can't see where the jars are coming down. So there we have it. Do you know what? Maybe if the polarizer... No, see, that's on the screen, isn't it? Let me know, are these black marks, if you do know, is it from the screen or is it from the... Is it, if I change the polarizers, would it work if I got the proper polarizers? Well, there we have it. It was nice to see Popeye move again and also Parachute move again as well. Massive, massive thanks to everybody that helped out in the comment section, because I was 100% sure the chips were faulty and I was 100% wrong. So I think next now I'm going to start working on this thing here because I need a fix. Although I'm happy that we've got the characters moving, the Game & Watches are still unplayable. So I'm kind of itching for a fix. So I'm going to be moving on to this big beast here. It's a Philips air purifier or something like that. I don't know, they're super expensive. I got this one 40 off eBay. It's got no power, and when I plug it in, it certainly has no power. So I'm interested to see what's going to be wrong with it and whether or not we can get it working. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all very soon. Take care.